Ok, ok. Ahí estamos. Bueno, hola a todos. Happy New Year. Feliz 2026. It's been a long time that I've been wanting to come live video, and finally I'm here. Sorry for the pause that I take. We've been working really hard on the course from Zero to Hero and the conversation classes because we had so many students all at once, and it's been a little difficult to manage. But the idea is to be back in 2026. I will never abandon you. I've read some comments of people saying that I abandon YouTube to push sales. They don't really know me. So the ones who know me and the ones that do know what I offer, or if you're new, I guarantee I will never abandon you. If I'm in a pause, it's because something serious has happened or because I'm working on something even better. And I invite you to check the courses, the new things that we're doing on the website. I'm going to leave all the links below to see what we're doing this year from last year with the team. Yes. So, what I want to present is the presentation. No, it's not this one. It was supposed to be another one. Okay, I don't find it. Great. Uh, it was supposed to be a little more clean, the screen, but never mind because I don't know how to make it. Yeah, just don't know where the presentation went. Anyways, what we're going to talk about, I promise to be better prepared for the live video next class. I think last time I recorded a live video was 5 years ago. So stop stalling, speak Spanish in months. I'm going to prepare you to speak Spanish this 2026 for good. We're going to do this, yes? This is a practical roadmap for A1, not A2. Sorry, that's a mistake. To B2 learners or even advanced. Emotional reset, myth busting, real obstacles, honest level check, and a 30-minute action plan. So, the brutal question: if Spanish were a gym, would your results match your time? So, imagine going to the gym and spending the whole day and then you don't see results. Yes. So if you have to measure your Spanish learning, yeah, to the time you spend, does it really match? Can you compare the time spent learning Spanish to your actual speaking ability? What do you think about that? Take a moment and think about it. Most students aren't lazy. They've been training with the wrong muscle. So we hear a lot of students coming saying, I've been studying for years, for 2 years, for 3 years, and they still cannot speak Spanish. So it's not that you're not dedicating enough time. It's probably you're not doing it with the right method. So this is something that happens a lot with students. They try a method, for example, italki or Rosetta Stone or Duolingo. I don't know, there are so many, or a private tutor on Preply or whatever it is. And they study a couple of months, 1, 2 months. They don't see results. They say, this is not for me. And they start all over. Yes. And they try something else and they're the same. They say, this is not for me. I'm making no progress. And they start all over. They go on the internet, they follow all the, influencers in Spanish, and they are learning colloquial expressions, vocabulary here, some the subjunctive there, but they're really not putting it together in a structured way. So it kind of creates the illusion that you're really learning when in reality you are putting the time, but you're not seeing progress because you're not doing it the right way, right? Not with the right path. So we are going to focus on effectiveness, not just productivity. Here, emotional mirror. What learners say, I want you to identify the number that you are in. We have number one. I understand, but I can't speak. Comprehension without production creates frustration. So the majority of our students, we have over 1,200 students in the academy right now. I would say 90%, they write to me saying, I understand Spanish. I've been studying for years, but I'm not ready to speak. I want to reach level A2 or level B1 to start speaking. And this is the typical mistake. This is everyone's mistake. Don't worry, you're not the only one. Everyone's saying the same thing. So you're probably in there in number one. Or I forget everything. Memory gaps after passive study are normal. Yes. Some people say it's my age. Others say I have difficulty learning. I always had difficulty even at school, and so on. Or three, I've been learning for years, long time invested with little progress causes discouragement. As I mentioned before, you've probably been trying many things, starting all over again, trying things, starting all over again, following influencers, and everything is a mess in your head. So when it's the time to speak, when you actually meet a native speaker, what do? You freeze. Okay, number four, I panic when natives speak. Fluency, speed, and accent triggers anxiety, as I was saying, freezing. And I don't know what to study anymore. Lack of direction stalls progress. And six, if this is you, this class is for you because I'm going to guide you step by step. Will validate feelings and give clear, doable steps. I'm sorry for the presentation because I haven't been able to put it make it bigger. And then you can see all the pages that I'm working on at the moment. My life is always a little chaotic, but here I am, always showing up. So lie one. More exposure does not equal fluency. What does that mean? You can watch my 600 or more videos on YouTube. You can be doing Duolingo at the same time. You can be, as I said, following all the influencers. It doesn't guarantee fluency. Why? Because you're passively absorbing, but you're not practicing. Imagine I watch cooking videos every single day for hours, but I never touch the kitchen. Yes, I will get an idea of how ingredients are combined, of the utensils that I need, of the procedures and all that. But I'm not really practicing because when you practice, there are new situations that arises. For example, I don't know, the fire going up, or I don't know, whatever, the oil burning. Imagine in a cooking class, right? So you do need to practice in order to experience these situations that will arise. So passive input creates an illusion of progress. Convert exposure into usable Spanish. This is what you need to do. The same with Duolingo. It creates the illusion. I'm learning Indonesian right now, Bahasa Indonesian on Duolingo, and it's terrible. I can I can say a few words, but I'm always stuck at, selamat pagi, terima kasih, and just two, three words, and that's it. And it's horrible, and I'm afraid to speak to natives because I know that I need a real system. I know I need private tuition, but even if I get a private tutor, randomly on the internet, it does not guarantee I'm going to learn because a lot of tutors are just native speakers and they don't really know how to teach. So passive exposure, watching Netflix, TikToks, YouTube without structure, input without processing feels like learning. Input meaning absorbing on this information but not practicing. Remember, watching cooking videos, but I never touch the kitchen. Leads to recognition but not production, creates an illusion of progress. Active processing is where I want to take you. Note new words and example sentences, produce sentences and shadow short clips. Use brief focus drills to enforce recall. Convert recognition into usable language. What we're doing from next week in our practice club, that is the conversation club, the group conversation club, we're starting on Monday with activation. Why? Because as I said, 90% of our students are saying, I want to reach level A1, A2 or B1 to start speaking. I don't want to hear that anymore. I'm sorry, but I've heard it for years. So I said, okay, I need to create a solution for this. So we are launching activation, which is exactly this. Repetition, just few words, creating phrases with those few words, very safe. You're not supposed to speak confidently. It's just structure guided with images, with the certified tutor guiding you, correcting your pronunciation, encouraging repetition, and so on until you feel the confidence to produce the language yourself. This is super important, and you cannot do that alone at home. You can practice, you can repeat, you can record yourself, but you have no expert giving you feedback. This is why I hope we manage, to succeed with this activation course, because this is exactly for those students who feel too shy, who freeze, who say, I want to reach level X before I start speaking. Okay. You don't start speaking because you're ready. You become ready because you speak again. Turn practice into readiness with low stakes speaking. Record yourself weekly, daily clips. Again, then you need to show to a teacher or someone who's an expert to get feedback. Yes, 3-minute recording force retrieval and reveal recurring errors. Scripted role play, safe repetition, practice common scenarios to build automatic responses and confidence. This is what we're going to do from Monday in the activation club session. Speak first prompts, reply before translating, use micro conversations to prioritize production over perfection. Again, this is what we're going to do this year with my students, with the academy students. A lot of repetition, just producing. It doesn't matter if it's perfect or not, but we need to get you going. We need to start the machine, the engine, so you see progress. Otherwise you're going to be always at the same point. Now you're a car. I like comparing you to the kitchen. Now you're a car. You need to start the engine. Yes, let's move on. So lie number 3, apps are not enough. Yes, well, the lie is that, yeah, they are not enough. What apps give you versus what you still need. What apps give you? Daily habit and routine building. They're easy. Come on, guys. I am drinking my coffee and I'm doing Duolingo in 5 minutes, but I know because I'm a language tutor that I'm not learning. But it's, easy. Maybe I learn one word that I might use in one situation just to show that I can say one word, but not the full phrase. High frequency vocabulary review, listening exposure at beginner level, and gamified motivation and streaks. I don't know how to pronounce that. Gamifications with games, just like Duolingo. What you still need: a real grammar system and clear explanations, controlled productive practice for speaking, targeted correction and feedback from a teacher, and progression logic that links skills into fluency. So the way people ask me how I learn Spanish, sorry, not Spanish, oh my God, English. I learned through the method that I'm teaching Spanish. I went to a school, to an academy, to an official academy, not just a tutor online, and with the books. And we had classes, I think 3 times a week with a group of students, live classes. And we had the books and we follow the official English curriculum until I finished it. But on top of that, I was also reading books. I was watching shows. I was not really practicing with natives because in my hometown, there were not many English speaking speakers at the time. But, doing all these things until I started traveling abroad and really putting it into practice, with natives. Before that, I was regularly for many, many years every week practicing speaking with a tutor. I don't know if I would have achieved this fluency and this because, for example, I met abroad other travelers, immigrants or from, I don't like to use the word expat. I think immigrant is appropriate. So from France, from other countries, from Portugal, etc. And although they do, living in England, they do speak fluently. They make a lot of mistakes in pronunciation, in grammar, and all these things that only a structure, curriculum like the ones that the top institutions teach will help you achieve that point. Yes, of accurate language. Although I still make mistakes, I think, there are not so many compared to someone who didn't go through the correct method. So what we do in the academy is unlock, and also on this YouTube channel, you have all the playlists. And I have people from A1 asking me, when am I going to post C2? Well, first, please finish A1, then A2, B1, B2, 2.1, B2.2, and C1. And then we're going to get to C2. C2 is academic. C1 is academic. I do not believe you need beyond B2 to speak fluently. I do not speak C1, C2 in English. And trust me, I am able to go to the government, to do all the paperwork, to go to the doctor, to make friends, everything in English without ever doing C1 and C2 in English. So when I say you don't need it, I know you want to see on my YouTube channel all the playlists, because it gives you a sense of like it's complete, if we do it until C2 and maybe something else. But it's not really necessary. You got to trust me on this. My teachers agree, the team, we don't really teach that unless someone wants to prepare academically for a formal exam or something like that. Nevertheless, I'm planning to make a C1, C2 combo in the self-study course for you to learn, basic, like a summary of this academic level. So let's continue. Not causes versus real causes of speaking failure. Why talent and memory are not the problem, structures and routine are. So not causes. Talent is not the limiting factor. Age rarely determines progress alone. I hear this a lot. Memory alone does not explain failure, and long exposure without output isn't enough. Again, watching all my 600 videos is not enough, or any other channel's videos or all that, or all the, binging on Netflix in Spanish is not going to make you fluent. Real causes: no structure, ad hoc practice, no progression, wrong expectations, aiming too far ahead. As I said before, I have A1 beginner students asking me about level C2. I'm telling you, it's going to take you so long to get fluent. I mean, not long, but so much work, practice, workbooks, so much, speaking practice to start thinking about level C1 and C2. And you have to trust me on this. The mistakes we see in students: they just watch videos. Actually, I have a free version of my From Zero to Hero course that, by the way, is not AI, because I heard many comments saying that now I'm only doing AI. If you go and click on the videos, you see me recording videos in English, in Spanish, and we are translating the materials even into Hindi, and we're going to translate into Arabic and Chinese next, and more languages in the future. So I have this free version of the course, this free trial. Students go, they click on the video, they just do the video, and then they say, but yeah, no, I didn't have the time to do the workbooks or the materials. I'm just watching the video. When are you posting the next video? And I'm like, okay, well, why don't you go to the lesson and do it completely? Because what you're doing is just the same as on YouTube. On YouTube, you watch my videos and then you want me to post the next. It's okay. On YouTube, we don't have the materials anymore. We discontinued the Aula books because I want you to pay to the editorial. Go and buy the real book. I'm creating my own course now with the same curriculum, but it's my own course. So it does take a lot of effort. It's not just watching the videos. If you from my YouTube channel go to my paid course or my free week of course and do the same as on YouTube, you only watch the videos. When you do have for free all the downloadables, there are over 200 pages to download with exercises and the answers for self-correction. If you're not doing all those things, it's not going to make you fluent. So I need you, all of you watching, to be realistic. In 2026, it's not just watching videos. This is why you're years and years of learning Spanish and you're not becoming fluent. It's everything else. It's the workbook, it's doing the course book, is speaking with the other people, not just with the tutor. We have one-on-one students who become way too comfortable with the teacher and they don't want to speak to anyone else. That is not real life either. You're not gonna go to Spain or Latin America and speak to only one person. You're gonna speak to a lot of people. So why do we do the groups? To encourage, interaction with learners from different accents. We have from all over the world. We have from Singapore, from China, from the US, from Canada, from Brazil, from Italy. It's an amazing way to listen to Indians. We have many Indians. An amazing way to listen and practice the different accents of other students of Spanish. So it's not just the videos. I hope that's clear. Implication for study design. Prioritize systems over raw input. Set realistic short-term goals. Create predictable speaking routines and build production plus feedback loops. I'm going to, just to go back to the previous topic, you can learn in the way that you want, but I want to make sure that you are in the right place. My channel and my method of learning is the same as the official, approved Spanish curriculum that the top institutions are using. And this is the way we work. I am not trying to be an influencer getting, likes. Otherwise, I wouldn't have recorded over 600 videos and growing so slowly over the years just because I'm not creating viral content. I'm creating the whole thing. And if I took all these hours to put into, for you, I expect my students, the ones who are in the right place, to put the same kind of work, because this channel and the Academy, Master Spanish Academy, is a serious, institution, online digital institution with the official curriculum. Yes, it is not for casual learners who want games or fun or, learn expressions or move to an advanced level very quickly. I'm sorry, but it does require a lot of effort. And I'm just making sure that you are in the right place, because this kind of, putting the work is not for everyone. It's not. The same as for teachers. How many teachers have recorded the whole curriculum like me? I don't know. If you find, please share, because I want to see other channels doing the same. But it does require effort and work, and I am happy to help with all the resources out there. I keep creating content every single day. So I don't want to hear anyone saying I have abandoned my students, because there are, oh my God, over 200 free slides and workbooks to download for free on my page, on my website, and short stories and a lot more. The understanding trap. Why recognition does not become speaking without targeted practice. Input, recognition. Input is everything that you absorb. Is the videos, is the series, is the reading, yes? Listen and read to build comprehension. So you start understanding the language through listening and reading. And actions. Note new phrases, annotate usage, collect sentences for later use. And then output, this is the part I'm encouraging you to do. Force retrieval, under pressure, actions, time prompt-based speaking, transformation drills, speak whole-minded sentences, allow. The production of the language is speaking and writing. Also, I invite you to go to try my course, the free trial, because there is a placement test. Yeah, there's a placement test there to define your level. Although I don't really believe in placement tests, but it gives you a very, general idea of where you might be. And I think there are 3 gaps for writing practice. The majority of the people leave that in blank and they say, I don't know how to write yet. So, and they are good in the grammar of level C1. So this is what I'm saying. When you are at that stage, when you recognize the subjunctive and very complex grammar, but you cannot write an introduction of yourself in Spanish, it means you have been receiving a lot of input. You have watched a lot of videos, you have, watched a lot of tutorials, but you haven't been practicing with a tutor who gives you feedback, or you not even alone. So that means you recognize the language, but you cannot produce it. So what happens in real life? You go to Spain, you go to Latin America, and you recognize words, you understand certain things, but then when it's time to speak, you freeze. And this is what we're trying to unlock this year in 2026. And this is why we are, encouraging you not only to study completely with the self-study course, with the workbook and all the materials, but also join speaking groups, and if the schedule is not for you, one-on-one, just to produce the language as well. I'm speaking so much. I'm tired already, but we're not over. Processing, map and practice. Convert input into production templates, action, sentence, mining, change tense or person, map synonyms, and chunks. So, grammar as a map, not a monster. Turn confusion into predictable results with focused explanation. Structure. Identify one high-frequency structure to teach and practice until automatic. I don't know, let's say, me gusta el café. A mí también, a mí tampoco. Practice it. Turn it. This is what we're going to do in activation and foundation conversation from next week, and we are working together with the tutors so that I'm encouraging my tutors to with the students, just say a phrase, say like me gusta el café, very simple, and then try to also conjugate not just first person, because students are used to using the first person a lot and no other conjugation, and also speak about what your classmates like. So Marcos and Adriana les gusta. So now you conjugate me gusta to les gusta. And then he asks another student, ¿te gusta el café? And then a group of students, ¿os gusta el café? For example. So this is super important. I don't want you to get too complicated and to learn just me gusta, the first conjugation, and then jump to direct, indirect objects, subjuntivo, because subjuntivo is so popular out there on the internet because it's viral, because the students think they need to learn it before learning the present tense. So we're going to go in order. The present tense is what you use the most in Spanish because we live in the present and we use the present tense the most, and you can even make yourself understood in the present tense, referring to the past and the future. So master the basics, not just in the first person, but in the third, in the plural, second person, and so on, in the negative, in the interrogatives. Students are very used to just replying to questions, but not asking questions. So we encourage students to ask questions to others as well. Build automaticity. Move from control to fear output once accuracy is consistent. Yeah, this is what we do in our practice club. Once you can, you become independent, you move from foundation speaking to core conversation. That is on Saturdays and Tuesdays. Core conversation is for levels, we put levels B1, B2, C1, C2 for students who are already independent, which means that they can have a conversation without, repetition or control structures and the teacher's feedback all the time. They are a lot more independent. That for us is considered to be generally level B1 and so on. And we we have that in core conversation twice a week in our practice club. Control practice, design activities that isolate the structure for focused production. Is what I was saying before, and this is what we do also in foundation and activation in our practice club. Practice, control, yes. Practice the negative, the interrogative. I already said that, I'm not going to repeat. Rules, simple. Give a minimal, clear rule set that explains use and form without jargon. Yes, clear rules, as I said again, focus first on the most important, the present, and then move on to the next. And examples in context, never alone. Show 3 short contextual examples that model real use across registers. For example, you learn the word montaña, mountain. Put it in a phrase, see? Me gusta ir a la montaña. You use me gusta. Then you're going to use the present. Voy a la montaña 3 veces a la semana. And then you also add frequency. Or you can say, Ana y yo vamos a la montaña los fines de semana. Or you can use the past if you're confident enough. You can say, fuimos a la montaña el fin de semana. So take one word, for example, montaña, and put it in as many contexts and grammar structures as you possibly can. Reality check what level really is. This is what I was saying. I don't like placement tests. Measure speed and ease of speaking, not knowledge alone. Why? Because as I was saying, some students, they pass the placement test as advanced learners, as B1, B2, C1, or B1 is intermediate, but C1, for example, but they cannot write a simple text and they freeze when they speak. This means that they have been, receiving input. They know the rules. They watch all the subjunctive, the pronombres, the pluscuamperfecto, whatever structure you want to mention, but they don't practice enough production. See, so the placement tests are very tricky. And this is super important because from next week, we are starting the practice club with conversation, and we are separating the levels very, very carefully. We have students who are speaking fluently with total independence, but they think they are beginners because they don't feel confident enough, but they're not. And then we have beginners who think they are advanced, but they cannot even, say one phrase grammatically correct. So it is very important that you talk to our tutors, if you want to learn with us, so that we really tell you your level, because in our conversation sessions, we really want to separate levels. Why? Because if we mix levels, the beginners feel too shy to speak in front of the intermediate and the advanced get bored with the beginners. So we, not only within beginners, we're separating those who freeze to those who don't freeze, but speak very, very slowly, and they still need a tutor a lot. That's why we have activation, we have foundation, and then core speaking for the independent students from level B1. Super important you do really understand your level, especially when you're going to speak and produce the language. So, core idea, your level is what you can say without thinking. Fluency is speed, not perfection. So you can know all the grammar rules, but if you cannot speak without translating, or you freeze, or you speak super slow, you're not at the grammar level that your placement test is telling you. Yes. Assessment focus. Evaluate spoken output for ease and speed, not only accuracy or vocabulary size. Test 1, tell a 2-minute story in Spanish and note hesitations and pauses. Practice speaking for 2 minutes and see if you pause a lot, if you translate in your head, and so on. Test 2, answer 5 quick prompts aloud in 60 seconds. Measure speed and comfort. And practical tip, use short spoken tasks to track progress and set realistic goals. Again, realistic goals. Yes. It's not just watching. It requires a lot of work. We can do this in a year, but you do need to sit down every day, and daily practice is so important. I'm not saying you have to study an hour a day. You can if you want, but just a little practice every day is super important. So reality check real Spanish levels, calibrate expectation, and set realistic milestones. Number one, A1. What is A1? Survive with very basic phrases, present and not past simple. It's mostly the present perfect, like he caminado, he visitado, but it's mostly the present. In level A1, you see mostly the present. You see how to go to the doctor, you see how to order a restaurant, you see how to express what you like, but you don't know much else. I mean, you don't know all the other tenses, yes? Which is great. Level A1 and A2 are, you need to know these, but very well before you move on to the next ones. This is what I tell students. Go back to A1 and A2 as many times as you need to, because we see advanced students still not mastering the basic structures. A2, basic opinions and everyday survival. Many self-called intermediate learners. Yes, here you do see more the past. You see the past simple. You see pretérito imperfecto, pretérito indefinido. You learn how to narrate stories. But again, still is very few of our students who really master, for example, the difference between imperfecto and indefinido, how to tell an anecdote perfectly well, and so on. So I do encourage you to go back as many times as you can. We are in the self-study course, publishing it. There's a mosquito here participating as well, or learning. What was I saying? We have many students. I forgot what I was saying. The mosquito is the mosquito's fault. B1. Tell stories, express opinions, handle real conversations. B1, you should be a lot more confident. Yes. And here you do learn the subjuntivo and so on. I was saying, now I remember, the self-study course from Zero to Hero, it's $35, which is basically for free, pretty much, because it's for life. It's still low, the price, because we're still uploading it. I'm finishing uploading level A2. I have to post the videos too, because there will be videos for all the lessons up to level C2. But it's almost finished. And then we are uploading B1, B2, C1, C2 in these months. And once it's finished, we'll raise the price. But what we did now is we separated from January 1st, the bonus, the speaking bonus. We separated and we structure group speaking, group conversation differently. We added more dates and the levels are separated, whereas before everything was mixed and it became a little chaotic. This is why now we want learners to have the self-study course that is for life, and now it's $35. And actually, I'm leaving a discount here. You have a 15% off until I think next week. So yeah, if you want to take advantage, that you're gonna keep the course for life. And the students who have been with me for a while, they know that whatever they purchase in my courses, they always get bonuses and updates that I always add materials for free. Like the students who last year bought from Zero to Hero, the first version, then they got 1 year conversation for free and the second course for free too. So it is an investment. I recommend you take the advantage. Yes. And number 4, B2, think in Spanish, argue, work, and socialize confidently. Well, B2, you should be able, to feel confident, to speak about negotiations, I don't know, reporting a crime, giving your opinion about more serious issues like, there's the mosquito again. If you see me doing this, yeah, I'm in Indonesia, it's mosquito land. So what was I saying? Yeah, you should be a lot more confident in this level. And C1, C2 is academic, as I already said. So realistic timeline for 2026. Reach B2 faster. Stage ranges assuming a focus system. Practice guided speaking consistency. A1 to A2, probably 2 to 3 months if you study every day and with the workbooks and with everything. Yes, not just watching videos. Targeted practice, guided input, daily speaking drills. A2 to B1, 3 to 4 months. Focus output, conversation partners, correction loop. B1 to B2, 4 to 6 months. Fluency practice, real conversations, and consistency. Key conditions: focus system, speaking practice, consistency. Structure matters more than time. Years are not required. So In our previous course from Zero to Hero, we structured it like to be for 55 weeks. So become fluent or between 1 year. But we noticed that we have students from all over the world, and maybe this can be realistic for some students and it's not for others, and others were getting frustrated. So we removed the 1 year, time frame. You can do, this is a self-study course, what I offer, and also on YouTube, the videos are there, so you can study, at your own pace. So do it at your own pace. It's not the same. We don't want to put pressure or create frustration. We're always correcting courses from previous mistakes. So when we notice students get frustrated, we change things. The same happened in conversation. We were mixing levels, students got frustrated, and we changed. Now we separated, and we have the practice club. So take your time. It's not the same for someone who's Portuguese, who's Italian. I picked up Italian in 3 months. Well, yeah, 6 months, let's say. I learned Italian very easily living there because my language is Spanish and it's very similar. But if I move to Japan, I'm not going to pick up Japanese in 3 months. So it's not the same for someone who is from a certain country, or if they have studied Spanish before at school, or if they have never in their life seen Spanish, or if they have more, Spanish TV channels, like in Romania, they have all these soap operas, or Eastern Europe. I know they are very familiar with Spanish television, but in another countries, no. So it depends on, or your friends, your group of friends, depends on so many things. So we remove the time frame, but the important thing is that you practice consistently and with all the elements. Again, it's not just watching videos. It's not just the language. Spanish open doors. More than 21 countries speak Spanish. Deeper travel, stronger identity, and better jobs. So basically, I have lived abroad in Spain, Italy, UK, and now I am in Asia for almost 2 years. I love Asia. I love everywhere, but yeah, it's summer here all year, so I really like that. I know it's very cold in Europe right now. I do miss the snow sometimes. I love everywhere. Actually, I have great memories from everywhere, but right now I'm really enjoying the tropical weather. So I have been in countries like I am right now. I don't speak the language yet. If there are any Indonesian teachers over there, you can leave a comment below. Maybe we can work together. And not knowing the language, first of all, forces you to speak English with the locals, and it's kind of an entitlement. It's like, oh, you should speak English for me, and I don't like to think of it like that. If I'm in a foreign country, I want to be humble enough to say, I want to learn your country, because your language, because I am the visitor here and not the other way around. So I know it takes some time and it's a skill to develop, but it's super important to gain the respects of the locals, to build relationships, and to understand the culture in a different way, because what happens when you don't speak the language and you move abroad, you end up hanging out with other English speakers. So it's very difficult to learn. And this happens a lot. And we have a lot of people, of our students, living in Spain right now, or in Nicaragua, or in other places. And they say, yeah, all my friends, they speak English. So it's very difficult. Even my, husband, my wife speaks English with me, even though they're Spanish speakers. So it is very difficult to break that situation, but you can. What I suggest is that you enroll in courses where there are no English speakers. Like, try to spend time in places where English is not spoken, not because they don't want to, because they cannot speak it. So maybe smaller towns or rural areas, or elderly people, engage in any kind of activity, course, practice with the person who sells you the fruits and the vegetables while living abroad, and so on. So places and travel, access to plus 21 countries, more meaningful travel experiences with deeper conversations, relationships and identity, real friendships with locals and communities, confidence and an identity shift when you connect in Spanish, as I was saying before. Career and opportunity, broader career options and better jobs, concrete advantage in roles that need bilingual Communication. Yes. It is wonderful when you speak a foreign language and not just your own language and not just English, because English, well, nowadays is widely spoken. Um, but it gives you, that feeling of I have made it. I can do this. I can speak this other language. And it creates a lot of confidence and connection with the local people, and it opens doors that are unimaginable. You don't know where it's going to take you, learning Spanish. So I do encourage you to be patient, because it's a skill you need to develop. But if you do it properly, it's going to bring a lot of benefits. The hidden door language that opens respect. How speaking Spanish shifts you from outsider to insider is what I was saying. Bridge to respect, a spoken hello that turns polite nods into genuine regard. Bridge to opportunity, local roles and chances appear to those who speak the language. Bridge to trust, language signals effort and earns confidence and deeper interactions. It's true. Bridge to belonging, speaking the language invites you into conversations and community and understanding, the community where you are or where you want to live. This year also, because we have so many students from the US and Europe moving to Latin America and Spain, we want to also, me as a living abroad and starting all over so many times, I want to share my knowledge, although I'm not an expert, in foreign affairs and visas. I want to create, I'm working on it, some help for those starting all over in different ways, from socially to paperwork, some sort of guidance, because we do see a very rising number of people moving abroad. And also, if you join our practice club, you have access to the community, that we have over 500 students in the community, and you can interact with people from all over the world. Identity shift, you become someone who lives in Spanish. So you do become a new person. Yes, imagine daily life in Spanish, start small, stay consistent. Guided image. So this is like visualization, manifestation. Guided imagery prompt, close your eyes and practice morning routines, shopping, walking the streets, of Madrid, of going to the beach in Mexico, and all those things. Small talk and work emails in Spanish. Try to imagine, practice, and visualize it so you can see yourself living this Spanish life. Action step 1, daily mini production. Speak 5 minutes each day. Diary note, voice memo or practice email in Spanish. Action step 2, real interactions. Schedule 2 short real conversations per week with tutors, language partners, shopkeepers, or join conversation groups. And support rule, treat identity change as a gradual and reinforced by consistent production and feedback. Also, try the Spanish food. Why not going to Mexican restaurants or arepas, Colombians, and so on. The 4 non-negotiables for fluency: clear structure, simple grammar, guided speaking, and daily consistency. Structure is what we offer in the academy with this following the curriculum course. Stage milestones that map progress and next steps. And also in the course From Zero to Hero, you have everything in a digital platform with it's showing you where you are at. Number 2, grammar. Grammar explaining simple micro lessons tied to use. Number 3, guided speaking, coaching speaking with feedback and correction. And 4, consistency. Small daily actions, 15 minutes, ritual over rare marathon. So this is the key. It's not so difficult. But what makes a difference between those who do get to fluency and those who don't? You need to be consistent, you need to be patient, and you need to continue even when it feels hard, even when you feel silly, even when you feel you cannot speak. You need to be consistent. Yes. What to focus on. Finally, stop random study habits, start targeted sentence practice, stop chasing random topics, the viral ones. Stop it. It's not going to benefit you to learn, it's okay maybe to learn, a new viral word, but just focus on the real progress. Scattered topics waste time, pick returning real life topics. Start high-frequency structures. Focus on patterns you hear every day, like the present, gustar, quiero, the verb ir, etc. Stop endless isolated vocabulary that is not in context. Words without context are hard to use. Start verb sentences in real sentences. Prioritize verb forms that appear most often. Stop chasing perfection. Perfection blocks practice and fluency. Be okay with sounding silly. Have fun of yourself, like have fun. Laugh at yourself, at your mistakes. It should be enjoyable. It means you're doing something the majority of the people are not doing. The majority of the people prefer to be, watching a football match than speaking like a baby in another language that you sound silly. But you're doing it and they're not, and you're going to get somewhere and they won't, because it's not like they are the football players. They're just watching a game. So you are playing the game of the Spanish learning journey. Start verbs and tenses in real sentences. Prioritize verb forms that appear most often. As I said, master the present, please. Stop chasing perfection. Perfection blocks practice and fluency. I think I repeated that. Start building whole sentences with connectors. We have that in the course and on YouTube here too. Practice linking ideas naturally in speech and microplan. Choose 3 structures and build 5 sentences weekly. Repeat until pattern feels automatic. Final message, commit and start Spanish. Quote to remember, Spanish is not hard. What's hard is learning it without a system. Promise if you commit to the process, Spanish will open doors do not even know exist yet, that you don't know they exist. But commit and do it, finish it. 4 non-negotiables, daily practice, active output, space review, and real conversations. Realistic timeline, expect steady progress over months, not days. Set measurable milestones and 7-day micro commitment. 7 simple daily actions to build momentum and habit. I do recommend participating in the community and in group conversation, and as it is very difficult to stay committed solo, alone. Yes. Call to commitment, start doing it properly. Closing question, will I stop doing it randomly and start doing it properly? Yes or no, you can comment. And with yes, you can comment here. 1 sentence commitment, write 1 thing you will change this week. Keep it specific and actionable. You can leave in the comments. Facilitation tip, and I will also know who stay until the end of the video when you comment this. Facilitation tip, say a single spoken sentence today. Yes, and maybe write it down in the comment section too. Reinforce the principle, small, consistent choices beat occasional grand efforts. Emphasize habit over heroics. So, amazing. I'm not very good with the live sessions, and I was trying to get to I cannot get to the comment section, so there's probably a lot of comment. I'm going to reply them afterwards. I'm sorry, I'm learning live videos. But my idea is to come live every Friday, and I will be working on different topics and also teaching mini lessons. Why not? But I will learn to master the comment section. I'm just, testing, because I also wanted to share the screen, so I'm not really on the YouTube page right now, but I will comment after this. If you have anything to comment, thank you so much. Muchísimas gracias. Have a lovely weekend. Buen fin de semana. Y nos vemos en la próxima lección.